You know how this channel is called Adventures of a Black Woman Sailor? Well, usually I'm an aspiring sailor. I have so much boat work to do that I don't actually get to go out sailing a lot. But we're going to change all that tonight. I'd like to introduce you to Amigo, my MiniSail. It's a 13-foot racing dinghy, probably built in the 70s, and I got Amigo about a year and a half ago when I was doing so much work on my previous boat, the Rawson 30, and I had come to terms with the fact that I wasn't going to get out very much on that boat, so I got this as a way to sail while I was working on the big boat. Unfortunately, I couldn't really keep it in my slip because it was a much smaller slip, so I had to negotiate with my employer, the chandlery where I work, and they were nice enough to let me store it in the courtyard. But I quickly learned that packing the dinghy on top of my car every day and driving it down to the boat launch in Fremont and taking it off the car, rigging it up, sailing it, and doing all of that again in reverse, including getting dressed in the winter, was not ideal. I was spending more time packing and rigging the dinghy than sailing, and I was totally exhausted by the end of the day. So this dinghy spent about a year and a half just sitting in that courtyard at Fisheries Supply until now, again, I have acknowledged that this engine work is going to take me a little while longer, and I don't want to just miss out on sailing while I'm doing the engine work. So now that I have a big 36-foot slip for my 31-foot boat, I have plenty of room to spare, so that I can just keep Amigo here, rigged, ready to go, which will definitely encourage me to sail it more often because it makes it so easy. This here is the centerboard, or the dagger board. It's like the keel of a small boat. It's retractable. So on this kind of boat, stability is really important because it capsizes so easily. And before you ever use this kind of boat, it's always important to go out and do like 10 capsize drills in a row just to make sure you know how to turn the boat back over if you're out there, which I did do. I always step right in the middle when I'm stepping onto it. There we go. And I clip this onto something so in case I capsize and it comes out, I won't lose the centerboard. This is the rudder here. Also made of wood, therefore also I store it off the dinghy. So the dinghy itself is buoyant, which means even if you capsize and even if the cockpit fills with water, it will continue to float. I will float as well because I'm wearing a life jacket. Basically, this is like a pintle, and this is kind of like a gudgeon, which are the two things that hold a rudder on. This is like the pin, and then this is like the hole that you put it into. So the pin is called the pintle, the hole is called the gudgeon, just for the sake of terminology. So you kind of line up these holes. I get it. There we go. Now that's in there. You pull this to let it down. Then this is called a V. It's called a jammer cleat. It's just a little V cleat to keep that nice and tight. And to really be secure, I'll just tie a little knot. There we go. There, that's in there. Now, next thing is to put the sail on. I'm putting the sail sliders, I guess you would call them, little ropey sliders, onto the mast. So the boom, it kind of has a little cup here that you have to tie around and around really tight to get it to stay here, so that when you change your point of sail, the boom can move freely. And this was falling, it kept falling down. So I took a piece of hose that was just the right size. This one on the inside, it's a piece of 2.5-inch hose because this has a 2.5-inch diameter. And then I I put a 2 7/8 inch hose on top of it just kind of to reinforce that, and it really does hold it right in place. Right, now for the mainsail halyard. Ready to go up when I want. Oh, one more thing I need to do, I almost forgot. Got to rig the outhaul. This little line here is the outhaul. It allows you to put tension on the foot of the sail. It's quite a bit of water in the cockpit because I think the baler has a slight leak. So that's just how it is. You're gonna get wet. That's how it is. Accept it, embrace it. And wear quick drying shorts. Love these quick drying shorts. All right, time to go sailing. That was flipping awesome. It's like riding a bike. Yeah, I haven't sailed this dinghy in like a year, and you know, getting started was a little hard. I forgot to put the Cunningham hook on at first, and I got that all squared away. Had to figure out some of the currents in the marina. I've never sailed in this marina before, and getting off the dock at first was a little bit of the challenge because the currents always wanted to push me to the south, and they wanted to turn my bow towards the dock. So as soon as I got my sail all the way hoisted up, the power from the sail kind of overpowered those currents. And I was trying not to raise the sail too high while I was around all the other boats because I didn't want to get so overpowered that I didn't go flying into the other boats while I was still trying to get the hang of things again. But it turns out that that's exactly what I needed to do in order to stop getting dragged into the other boats. My favorite thing to do on this boat is as soon as you change tacks, and if you've got a lot of wind and your sail is really got a lot of power in it, when you change tacks, you kind of have to push yourself through the tack by going on the leeward side of the boat, putting your weight on it for just a moment, but then you have to jump up onto the high side in order to not capsize the boat. And so that moment where you're trying to like do that and then immediately go on the other side, like you want to push yourself through and then you want to get back up on the high side. It's so much fun, but you really have to be on top of things because it's easy to capsize. Thanks for watching. Make sure to come back next week when I attempt to lift my engine. Have a good week.